Ah, okay. María, pregúntale a John. Ask John to see if we're ready. Good evening and welcome to the Economic Development Committee. This meeting, today is Wednesday, January 28, 2026. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Act of 2022, this meeting of the Economic Development Committee is being conducted both in person and via remote participation. A reminder that anybody who would like to listen or to view this meeting while in progress may either attend in person at the location above, which is 200 Common Street, or use one of the following access locations: the Lawrence City Council Facebook page, as well as the Lawrence City Council YouTube page. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with the liberty and the justice for all. All right, this committee is been formed by the Councilor District F, La Plante, Councilor at Large Reyes, Councilor District E, Infante, and Councilor District C, Del Rosario. We are now proceeding to select either the chair or the vice chair of this committee, due to the fact that two of the council that are officially assigned to this committee are not available to be here today. But we have important matters to discuss, and we are going to proceed. As per the rule of the city council, I'm allowed to be here to continue with the meetings when it comes to making up the quorums. So today, it's an opportunity for this rule to take place. Due to the fact that we don't have a chair or vice chair, we are not taking any vote tonight, but we have two specific items that might require one item that is going to be information will be provided, and the other item that will be analyzed and subsequently potentially the full council take action at the next meeting if this committee decide to discuss this item. Item 22.
Council President?
Sure.
Through you, may we call up the city attorney just so that he can state this for the record, so that we can have it on file just in
Sure.
case?
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor.
City Attorney.
Tim Hooton, City Attorney. This is an ad hoc committee. We are not taking any votes tonight. As you also said, we have not even appointed the chairperson and/or the assistant. So we can still meet as an informational basis only. There is going to be no votes taken tonight. The one item that would have required a vote has been taken off the list or tabled for tonight. So there's just the information that I'm giving you regarding an outstanding litigation.
Perfect. But we can listen to both of the items, correct?
No, the other one's been taken off.
It's tabled. We have
There'll be
the-
no one
we have the
appearing on that
motion
one.
to table it.
No, there's two new items.
This one, this one, Dan sent us an email. He's not,
Oh,
yeah, so we have to table.
That one
Well,
will be
we have the person here.
We have some, oh, okay,
I guess that they didn't send the email to her.
okay. Well,
Yeah, my suggestion is that I wouldn't take any information on that if that's the information you're going to use to vote, that would then be, so.
Okay.
That item should be tabled.
So an email was sent over today. Stephanie, do you have the email? Do you have access to the email?
I do,
Bertha?
yep, I do, right here.
Okay, we have a printout of that email today. And this come from Dan McCarthy, which says, I'll read it when we get to that point, and then subsequently will be tabled. So, but in the meantime, item 2226, update on the status of litigation regarding the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority, LRA, and proper transfers. This item was put together by myself, and it's an executive section anticipated in case we need it. So, Tim, do you mind give us an
Sure.
update on that item?
And just for the record, every piece of information which I am giving you tonight is open to the public, free to be distributed. There's nothing being discussed here that of a sensitive nature. What we have here is a complaint filed by the Lawrence Redevelopment Authority asking for a declaratory judgment. What that means is they are looking for a judge. This isn't quite like a win or lose or award money or not award money. They are looking for a judge to say that the position that they are holding is correct. And the position that they're, as we are aware, but I will restate, is that the LRA believes that that when they did in 2016, they did the overview of the whole city regarding properties and the future of it, that the LRA plan was then voted on by the city council on December 6th and approved. Their position is, because of that vote, that any transfer of the lands contained in that redevelopment plan need not go back before the city council for transfer, that only the mayor needs to sign the deed. My position is that that is incorrect, that in fact these properties do have to go back before the city council for an approval of the transfer. In furtherance of that, because of the fact that I am a staff of one, I hired outside counsel to represent the city, and in December of this year, they have filed an answer to that, and you have a copy of both of these documents.
I'm
In
sorry,
which
can you
they,
just show, because we do have many documents here for, sorry, to you, Council President.
so you have
Which
two,
document
one
will
is
we-
the complaint,
Right, yep.
and the second is answer of defendant city.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So there's the complaint and the answer, and basically in the answer, the city has stated that we believe that in fact the LRA needs to come back before the city council, and that the city council must approve any transfers to the LRA in addition to the mayor. So what will happen from here forward is that this matter will then go before a judge. The judge will hear both arguments. This is not like a regular case. This is not going to be drawn out. There's not going to be a lot of discovery or any of that stuff. It's basically going to be submitted on the paper. There will be some brief argument, and the judge will decide one way or the other, either in favor of the petitioner or in favor of the city council. When is a good question.
The city.
The city. When is a question that I can't answer. That's up to behind us at the Superior Court. I would expect that a minimum of a month, but maybe as much as 3 months, that we will get it on the docket. And any questions that you have regarding, I can answer, like I said.
Council President?
Very informal. Councilor Infante.
Just quickly, Heather White, Christopher Federini, those are the attorneys handling things from the city side, not the LRA.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Paz?
It's in the back.
Brian Corrigan.
Corrigan.
Council President? I'm sorry, Councilor Plant still has the floor. Okay. Quick question, sorry. This is
We're
just
very honest.
interesting stuff.
We're very honest.
I'm sorry. Just quickly, do you predict a timeline as to, have they reached out when the city and the LRA will be going to court for this hearing? How does that look like?
That's what I said, that the hearing will be at a minimum 30 days from today at a
Oh,
maximum.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. Thank
About,
you.
maximum about 90 days.
Thank you, sorry.
It's dependent on the Superior Court schedule, nothing that we do. Excuse me.
Okay.
So that the city council, members of the city council would like to be updated with anything related to this case, perhaps any type of official or non-official meetings that happen around the item,
Sure.
around the topic.
Sure. And-
And that way we are fully aware of what is
And
happening.
if you wish, excuse me, and if you wish, Council President, I've only given copies of this to members of this committee. Sorry. I'm more than happy to send it to the remaining councilors that are not on this committee.
Obviously, we don't want for you to treat this case differently than any other case.
No?
You're very particular when it comes to a specific case and sharing information, because once it comes to the city council, it's a public information, and that can
That's why,
jeopardize.
that's why I'm free to speak here today. Anything I give you is readily available. The average person could go on their computer tonight,
And look
click
at-
on the courts, and get anything that, I knew she was going to do that. And get any information I'm giving you. So everything I'm giving you tonight is public information. I'm giving you no strategy. I'm giving you nothing that could not be said in an open meeting.
Okay. Councilor Brown?
I was going to just add that it might be worth considering to take this and give it to the committee on the whole. This impacts all of us, and not just 4 members of this committee. And I think, as you just mentioned, we want to be updated on what's going on, and I think that's a perfectly reasonable and welcome comment. I think you were updated on this, since there's a significant amount of properties that the LRA would like to get through if there's not this, what we believe, according to the city attorney's response, the answer to the defendant, we have a role in deciding whether or not we want to transfer or allocate the property over. So my suggestion would be on something like this that's very big, very unique, and impacts us all. You may want to consider it as a whole, so that we can all talk about it, because it's a bigger issue than just 4.
Consider. Essentially, this item was sent out to a committee due to the fact that we have all of the properties that are subject to transfer in another committee, and the intent was to make sure that we have clarity on the
Definitely.
lawsuit.
No, as I've spoken to your board before, my goal for this year is to make sure that you're informed of everything that's happening in my office and keep you up to date on every matter.
It is important to recognize that in the United States is a country of law, and anybody can sue for anything. So the city of Lawrence is being sued for properties that the city of Lawrence own and is not transferred to, is not yet dealing with the transfer in a way that autonomous organizations want. And it is important to recognize that these properties are over $15 million that the city of Lawrence own. In every process step or any type of consideration should be subject to the city council opinions and vote.
Yep. That's also my position.
Any other comments on this matter? Do you believe that this committee should go into executive section at this point?
No,
or-
I don't believe so. I believe that yours update is, and once this committee is formed and everybody's, I'm more than happy to come back, and if you want to give you some kind of inside baseball information, I can go into executive session. But at this point, I think just letting you know it's what everybody else should know, is fine at this point.
Okay, no problem. Any questions? The matter will be tabled automatically.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
We have another item in the agenda.
I'm just gonna make a motion to table both.
No, let me know.
Oh, we can, okay.
Let's leave it up.
Leave
Right
it as
before
a-
this will be automatically tabled.
Yeah, 'cause we have to take a vote.
And the fact that we're not taking a vote is because we haven't yet chose the chair or the vice chair. And I will definitely take a look into that as well. Item 726, which is the approval of a tax increasement financial TIF agreement between the RG LLC and the city of Lawrence for the property located at 470 Broadway Street. This item, we received information from Dan McCarthy, and I will read the email he sent today at around 4:17, January 28, 2026 at 4:17 p.m. Councilors and committee staff, I am currently ill with a virus, and I will be unable to attend to the committee hearings for 1/28/26. I'm requesting a document 726 on the economic development agenda and document 48225 and 2426 at the Budget and Finance Committee to be tabled until the next scheduled committee meetings. Please feel free to call me if you have any questions. So we received this email today at around 4:17, of course. Hopefully this email was communicated with everybody. But if it's not, we have Audrey, that I hope that you're not angry about the,
No, definitely
about the
not,
situation.
never,
Just
never.
a quick comment about, we're not discussing the item, but I mean, we can definitely hear
No,
you.
just a quick question, because we've been at this for a while. My name is Jakairi Noah.
Name and address for the record, yes.
Jakairi Noah, 142 Andover Street, Lawrence, Massachusetts. That's the property I own here in Lawrence. And I am with RG LLC. We have applied for the TIF a few times. I'm happy that it's actually getting to you guys now. My question to you guys is, with Mr. McCarthy being ill, what happens if in 2 weeks he's also ill? How does
Hopefully
that
it's
work when you guys are working with TIF and applications? Just for the understanding, and I
Yeah.
appreciate Mr. McCarthy work and respect him very much, but I just want to understand the process. That's why I'm
And
here.
yes, definitely, and that's a fair question. Hopefully, he's not ill in 2 weeks, and the council can proceed with the discussion about this important item. And the way that it works, he will provide information regarding to the TIF as of why the city of Lawrence have agreed upon the negotiations that you guys went over with the city, and also what is the convenience part of the city section of the city portion of the contract, basically. With that in mind, he will also provide the schedule tax incentive that he will provide to the project, and also the compromises that the company is taking to be able to provide what the needs of the city. He will be providing all that information. He also will providing any type of, he also will be available to respond to any type of question that the city have. Usually when he come over, we have a lot of questions because he brings different topics that are not a day-to-day type of things that we see. Councilors tend to have a bunch of questions around item he brings. And also, this is a tax benefit to the applicants. This is going to be the second one that I believe we received this the last couple of months. And there is always questioning around it, but I mean, hopefully things goes well, and then we'll proceed with the discussion and potentially make a vote that is going to benefit the city of Lawrence first, because we represent the city, but
Definitely.
also the 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 organization that is going to be receiving the TIF.
Okay. Well, thank you for the clarification. We'll be here in 2 weeks.
Hopefully, yes.
So every 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's the intent.
Okay. And
But
hopefully
we'll
will be a
definitely let you
positive
know.
vote.
Yes,
So thank you.
no problem.
Have a good evening, guys.
Say hi to Danielito. Thank you. All right, councilors, both of the items going to be tabled automatically, and we'll proceed. I guess that just for the sake of procedures, I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'm not taking any votes tonight for the attorneys.
So we don't,
For
yeah,
the attorneys' recommendations, so I'm not gonna vote on anything.
let's just keep this meeting
It's
running.
an ad hoc meeting. I'm not gonna vote on it.
It's not because it's an IHOP meeting. You got to be clear with that. It is not because it's an IHOP meeting. It's because we haven't take the chair or the vice chair of the meeting, because of the committee. Because I mean, it is something that we need to you need to make sure that we're clear on that. Otherwise, a lot of items that we have take with safety were completely legal, and we don't want to go that way. Thank you. So I guess that we abandon the meeting, and the meeting is going to stay open. So next time we come over.
ya? I'm always proud of ya. Did ya? Oh, thank you. So, I was just quizzing, Vivian, how many hydrants was it?
1,254, but technically 1,253.
So I sent the, supposed to be one every 1 week.
How long does it take to replace one that gets knocked out?
The water department does an excellent job of replacing it. They're protected.
But is it immediate, like, or does it?
No, it's not immediate, no. A lot of times they'll take them and they'll bring them back and they have to replace them. It's a bit. But one thing, California, one of the cheaper.
New York?
Good, but it's a safety mechanism. What's that? So what time does this happen?
Ready? Everyone's ready? All right. Can you just ask John if we're all set? Hi, Capo. How are you? We're all set. All right. Good evening and welcome to the Budget and Finance Committee. Today is Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. It is now 7:09 p.m. Voting members present. We have myself, Councilor Stephanie Infante, Chair of this committee. The Vice Chair to my left, your right, Councilor Vivian Marmol. To my right, Council President Giovanni Rodriguez, and I'm sorry. And veteran counselor, Counselor Mark LaPlante. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2022, this meeting of the Budget and Finance Committee is being conducted both in person and via remote participation. A reminder that persons who would like to listen or view this meeting while in progress may either attend here at the City Council chamber or use our Facebook or YouTube channels. At this point, can you please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, councilors, we have 5 new items. First item is item 4-26, SEIU Local 3 Laborers Union Collective Bargaining Agreement. Transfer in the amount of $95,279 from the general fund and enterprise fund accounts to various salary funds to fund the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. And we have our CAFO, Ramona, with us. CAFO, please state your name and address for the, I always forget this, for the record, and then you have the floor.
Yes, good evening, councilors. Ramona Ceballos, CAFO. So before you, we have 3 different collective bargaining agreements that have been ratified by the unions. And for all 3, you have a memorandum of agreement that the members of the union have voted on and has been signed by the city and the union. It includes a brief synopsis, which I'll go over with each union, outlining the highlights of the agreement, and also the CAFA certification, which is required pursuant to Section 8G of Chapter 58 of the Acts of 2010, certifying that the contract is affordable. All payments will be retroactive to July 1st, 2025, and we are asking kindly if the council could please waive the 30 days so we can pay the union members as soon as possible. So we'll start with the laborers. We have laborers in various departments: DPW, cemetery, airport, water, sewer. Right now, I will go over the synopsis.
Can you repeat the departments again, Careful,
Yes.
please?
So we have laborers 63 budgeted, and they are in various departments. We have them in DPW mostly, cemetery, airport, and water, sewer, enterprise funds. And as you can see on the first letter, on the first page of the attachment, it shows the different items that the funds are being transferred to and from. So we have the general fund that will cover most of the DPW and cemetery. And then we also have the airport and water, sewer, which are enterprise funds, and that's why we have it separate.
For the full counts, can we update this memo, maybe in handwriting, in parentheses, general fund, DPW, cemetery? Because I should know this by now, but I automatically was looking specifically for.
Right. So the reason why we have various accounts, it's because even within DPW, there are at least
Right,
7
right.
different orgs. You have streets and parks, you have facilities and so forth. That's why we say
Right.
various accounts
Right.
within the general fund, because then we have the cemetery, and we would have to have at least 20 different accounts here.
Right, Council Marmal.
Sorry, I just wanted to add to that. So is it possible on the memo itself, going forward, to address what those various accounts are?
Yes, absolutely.
Even though I could see,
Yep.
I understand how tedious
right.
it is.
Yep, no, I actually have my own copy here that I can forward to you, to this body, that shows exactly what orgs and what accounts is being exactly charged to, if that would be
Before we
helpful.
continue, I'm seeing various amount of people. I know the chief is here for one item, but we have Advisor Spanner, we have 2. I just want to make sure, are we all here for these contract agreements?
No, I believe they're here for the next item on the agenda.
Oh, okay. All right, let's continue.
Okay, so with the laborers, the synopsis, the changes,
Duh. Sorry, I just, continue.
no problem. We're adding language to a section, just adding gender, identity, sexual orientation. The grievance and arbitration, we're changing, replacing consecutive days with business days, hours of work, amending language to include a work schedule for the cemetery to allow more flexibility within the schedule. The uniform and clothing, the allowance is being increased by $300. The water integration, this is a big part for us because we used to have a separate union for the water department, and now we're integrating that union with the laborers. This will be a time saving as well as financial savings for the city. So now instead of having two different unions, laborers and water sewer, now we have one integrated contract for both unions. Compensation, increase in stipends across all grades within the water treatment, water distribution, wastewater collection system to support employee recruitment and retention per the department heads having CDL licenses as well as hoisting licenses is very important. And in order for us to incentivize the employees, we're offering an increase on the stipends for those 2 licenses. Miscellaneous increase in stipends, like I mentioned, for CDL and hoisting to support recruitment and retention. A housekeeping item is to add a post-accident drug and alcohol testing policy, which is following the handbook policy, which is very important for us to make sure we have that negotiated with the union. And last is the signing bonus for this particular union was $250 one-time payment. And the cost of living increases, it's 2.5% for FY '26, '27, and '28. Again, this is a 3-year contract. It's from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2028.
So we're increasing salaries by 2.5%,
Correct.
which is equivalent to what in dollar amount or cent amount? Monetary amount.
So we have that front page that shows what the transfer is being from and to. That's the financial impact. This not only cover the 2.5% increase, but it also covers the stipend for the employees that currently hold CDL and hoisting licenses, as well as the one-time signing bonus. The total for the general fund will be $52,705, for the airport, $3,141, and for the water, sewer, and enterprise fund, $39,433.
Councilors, do you have any questions for the CAFL or the administration? I mean, the representative from the mayor's office, Advisor Spanner. No, you have anything to add? Oh, I was asking the councilors if they have questions for you too. Yeah, Council President, so Council President first.
Couple of questions. So essentially, if a labor have a DCL license and a wholesale license, they're gonna get $3,000 on stipends.
That is correct.
$1,500 each. And that section that says employee eligible to receive increase 15 cents under the Article 19 and Section 11 might not receive both wages. Can you go over that, please?
So that applies to a specific job description. That job, for example, we have high special machinery equipment operator. Depending on your position that you currently have, it requires a CDL license and hoisting. So you either get the increase in salary, the 50 cents, or you get the stipend for the license. That's what that means.
So if they work 40 hours and then they get 20 hours a week, times 52 weeks, that's not. Okay, gotcha. All right. So another, I have two more questions. When it comes to the Article 23 and miscellaneous housekeeping,
Yes.
before we didn't have this policy in place?
It wasn't part of the,
How you guys operate when somebody get into an accident? Because it is required to have testing if you have a DCL license, to have a drug testing right away have an accident. You need to have that.
I believe it's part of the employee handbook that we currently have. It was not included in the individual CBA agreements.
Okay, because it make me worry a little bit due to the fact that what is going to take place, either the union agreement or the employee handbook. What is going to take
What has
That has the most weight.
the most weight within the two? Because I mean, it is
Right.
such a requirement.
So a lot of the unions, if it's not in their negotiation, that's something that we have to collectively bargain.
But it's part of the DCL, and when they have the right. if
Well,
they-
now
we hire them-
it's included, so that it's now enforceable.
Okay.
So I guess the answer that he's trying to get was before it wasn't enforceable because they go back to their contract, even though it's part of the handbook, and now we made sure that it's there.
That is correct.
But on the on the job description, if a DCL is required, those are the state mandated regulations that you need to have the testing right after an accident. So it is not even the handbook or the employee handbook or the union negotiation. It's the law. All right.
I agree.
We're
I agree.
moving along.
Yes.
That's good. Another question that I have. This is out of the first part right here. What is the first page? I go back to the question if they have questions.
Okay, Council Marma saw you, then we're gonna go to Council LaPlante.
Council President already touched on a lot of things that I was gonna ask, just so I can make sure I have clarity on it. These stipends are, is a one-time stipend?
Yes. No, it's a yearly stipend.
Yes.
Once a
yearly.
year.
It's not like
Yes.
a monthly thing?
No,
Okay.
no. It's usually paid out in December.
Okay, I saw that. I just wanted to make sure I got that clear.
Sure.
All right. That was pretty much it.
Council LaPlante?
Thanks. So, I mean, I know the vote here is simply, do we have the money? And the answer is yes. So right away, I'm satisfied. However, now that you're here, I just have like one question. And do you sit on the negotiations?
Most of them.
Okay. I'm just very curious. There's two sides, obviously, to negotiations, city side and the union side. Is there one thing that the union really wanted that they didn't get, and the same question for the city?
I guess each union asked for different things.
On this one that we're talking about
This
right here.
particular one wanted higher cost of living adjustment, like most unions. They usually ask for 5%, 4%. And also the one-time payment, they were asking a much larger amount. So a couple of the items, they usually ask for a higher amount than we offer, and we just go back and forth to make sure it's affordable for the city and it's also good for the employees.
And what about the city? Is there something that the city really wanted that the union couldn't come to an agreement on?
This is something that the personnel director met with each department head that had different unions to see what is it that each department head was actually looking for. I believe a lot of those things were brought up. Some of them were agreed upon, some were not. Again, it's like give and take with each union and try to come up with an agreement. So for this particular union, having the alcohol and drug testing was one of the things that the city also wanted to do. And we, after speaking with the department heads, they are really concerned about the employees not having the CDL and the hoisting licenses required to do some of the jobs. So that was one of the things that the city really wanted to make sure we gave to the employees, and we were able to do that.
So the CDL thing went through and agreed upon,
And
but
the
the
hoisting.
alcohol policy, whatever that means, the city wanted something like that. That was not agreed to by the other side.
Yes, so that's
It
why
was?
we have it now on the.
Oh, it is on housekeeping. But my
Yes.
question here is, I'm just trying to get, and if you don't know, you don't know, which is fine. I'm just trying to get a better handle as to where we are as a city. What are we looking for as a city from our unions? And so I get the unions, according to what you just mentioned, there was a lot of money related stuff.
Yes.
And didn't give in, I want to say given, we did not agree, the city did not agree as much as the unions would want. It's negotiations, and I'm sure the city wanted some stuff, and the unions probably said, no. I'm just wondering what those were, or was there anything? Did the unions agree to everything the city wanted?
Did you want to say something?
Good evening, Budget
Name.
Committee members,
And when I say
Madam
that,
Chair, through you,
I'm sorry.
it's a long day. Councilor LaPlante, the answer is going to be very simple because whatever
Advisor
we
Spanner, can you just state your
Oh, my name?
name, position?
Yes, Octavian Spanner. Octavian Spanner is here, advisor to the mayor. By the way, Sorry for my attire today.
It's been a,
Usually in the business attire, but today
look at all of us.
like everyone.
It's been a long
Yes, a
few
long
days.
day. Councilor LaPlante, during negotiations, there's always items that you discuss, go back and forth, that are going to reappear during the next negotiation. Basically, it boils down to the numbers, okay? And in this case, like it's customary, the employees and the bargaining unit is trying to negotiate a higher increase in salaries. Obviously, you know, we have our attorney, there's VDH attorneys that are helping us, and we go back and forth, but mostly on the numbers. And we are very happy based on the compromise that we have for this year, 2.5. I will address at the same time the questions that Council President Giovanni Rodriguez had, and Councilor Vivian Marmol. There's certain things that we need to do. And this administration has not been satisfied, and I know you have raised, is our employee handbook. There's inconsistencies. We send out mixed messages, different administration in previous years. We also could have done better job, but now we have a new personnel director, and she's going through all the through the manual, as well as training, that next year we can negotiate better.
Wait, what do
But
you
for
mean?
now, it's the numbers.
What do you, we still have the same personnel director.
No, I mean,
Like
during
new
the
and
four,
join- yeah,
our
yeah, okay.
4-year,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had, what, four
But, okay.
personnel directors.
My heart just,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
exactly. So she is working diligently to look at and that's one of the priorities for this administration, the second term, that she reviews and come up with the best solutions and best policy for, personnel policy for the city. And if we don't have that in place, it weakens your position. And with that said, I don't want to go deeper into the conversation, because that's going to be left for negotiations for next year.
Thank you. Are you all set, Counselor? All right, second round, Council President.
Sure. I believe it was back in December. No, June. End of fiscal year, we have a discussion about the spending accounts. And once we have that discussion, we actually, part of those spending accounts was the cemetery spending account. And some of those funds were actually used to be able to pay to open and close the door of the cemetery. And when you look at it, when it comes to percentage of the total amount of the spending account or the money available, a lot of the money went towards that specific. Some of the discussion went around why don't we negotiate that around, on the contract? Did you guys take care of that?
Well, section, if you look in the contract,
Yeah.
article, the third item, it shows hours of work and overtime.
Article 3?
It says article, it's the third item. So amend section 2 as follows: the cemetery department's normal hours will be 7 to 3, Monday to Friday. The first page in the actual CBA.
This right here.
The first page, yeah.
This is,
It's right after the.
So 7 to 3, so that means that issue
So
of
that,
opening up
that's
and
the
closing up.
time. And then it
the-
says, the director in his or her sole discretion may temporarily change an employee's work schedule. To the extent practical, the director will assign employees to temporary shifts on a rotating basis to ensure that no employee is prejudiced or unduly burdened. No employee shall be assigned to a temporary work schedule more than one time per calendar year. And then it goes on the second paragraph on more detail. So this is giving the director more flexibility to assign the work schedule that will be helpful for the cemetery, but also it won't be a burden for the employees. So this is one of those things where we went back and forth to make sure that we were able to get more flexibility for the cemetery to help them in that section, in that area.
Do we have at least 6 employees at the cemetery
We have
under this
I-
union?
5,
5?
yes.
So that means that 2 months of the year will be off the scheduling.
No, that means that they are able, she's able to request a schedule change within at least 60-day notice. So she's more concerned about during snow season, summertime, upkeep of the cemetery, but also the opening and closing of the cemetery.
Yeah, but I mean, the director should provide at least 30 days notice to any employee who is subject to the temporary work schedule change. So she have 30 days notice and give that 30 days notice to an employee. That employee cannot exceed 60 days on that specific schedule. And it can only be assigned once a year in 12 months. So meaning that if we have 5 employees, we're gonna have 2 months of the year that we're not gonna have anybody on that temporary schedule, which we're going back again to the issue, who's gonna close the cemetery, and we're gonna have to pay 4 hours just to close the door. So that's what it means. That's why I ask if it is 6 employees, at least under this union, that are subject to the same change.
Yeah, so I will have to relate to the cemetery director on this, because I know she went back and forth with our attorneys. And,
If you have 6 employees, that's fine, you cover.
right.
But if it's not, the solution will be to potentially get an automatic door that we don't have to deal with the 4 extra hours every day. That was
Yeah.
part of the discussion back in June when it got brought up to us when it comes to
This is one of the
expenditures.
items that we actually had to go back and forth because the employees are not willing to have just any schedule, decided for them. So it has to be
because of the
negotiated.
situation of getting some money for hours, closing the door, going home, and that's cool.
So this goes back to Council of Plans thing, that this is one of the things that we try to work a little more on the city's benefit. Unfortunately, we can only negotiate so much in terms of what we're asking from the employees.
At least it's just 2 months that we are not taking care of. If the proper 30 days notice and change to 1 employee every 2 months happens. Otherwise, it can happen for more than 2 months.
Again, this is if an employee doesn't want to do it, but if an employee volunteers to do it, then we don't have an issue. This is just to ensure that she's able to ask the employees.
Okay, no problem. I just want to make sure, at least we talk about it.
Absolutely.
And bringing the other conversation that we had back in June, we kind of combine everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Marmo, you had a second question? You turned it off.
I wanted to get clarity, and this is just out of curiosity, in terms of the amount of the stipends, how do we fare comparing to other cities and towns? Are we in line in terms of the stipends that our neighboring cities and towns issue as well? Do we fall short? Are we right there?
So we don't have a comparison with other municipalities. What I do know is that we were having a really difficult time incentivizing our employees to get their CDA license because we currently had a $1,000 stipend that we were giving out. They did not think that was enough to even get the license. It's a process to get that license and to maintain it, and you can get another job anywhere else making a lot more money than what the city was currently offering. So this is, again, a way that we can incentivize our employees to go get the license and show them some financial accommodations for that. Again, a truck driver, they kept saying, you can go drive a big truck and get twice as much as they were getting paid here. So we need to attract employees, and we need to make sure that they feel like they're being paid in
I
a fair
understand.
way.
I
So
get it. I was just curious if Methuen or Andover, North Andover, if they offer anything similar, and just trying to compare, how do we compare
Yep.
to them as well? Because we could potentially lose our employees to
Right.
those towns that offer a better incentive.
that's right.
So do we know if we're the only, is Lawrence the only one that offers these stipends?
No, we're not the only ones that offer the stipend. I don't know how much the other municipalities offer, because every year they have contract increases, so I'm not really sure what they offer at the moment, but they do offer CDL license stipends and hoisting as well.
Okay, understood. All right, well, our Madam Chair is not with us at the moment, so counselors, is there any further questions?
I'd like to make a motion, we send this up to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion was made, properly second. We have our Madam Chair back. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? And the ayes have it. Motion carries. Madam Chair,
Thank you. Apologies,
you don't have to apologize.
colleagues, I was grabbing my city laptop. I'm gonna look at the budget for one of the items. All right, next item we have is item 526, SEIU Local 3 Inspectors Union Collective Bargaining Agreement, CBA, transfer in the amount of $42,552 from general fund account to inspectional services salary and wages account to fund the CBA. CAFO, you have the floor.
Again, with your packet, we have the memorandum agreement that was signed by the city and the union. It also has the synopsis, which I'll go over, and also the CAFO certification. Within the inspectors union, we have 17 in the budget, 8 health and safety and equity 1, and 8 health and safety equity 2, and the 17th person is a weights and measures. Let's go over the synopsis. Within this union, we have a 2.5% increase for FY '26, '27, and '28, 2.5 for all 3 years. Again, the contract expire June 30th of 2025, and the new contract term is from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2028. Hours of work, there is a new section G, where the city will provide a city vehicle to the on-call inspector. Appendix A amends the scale to move the plumber to a new grade, bless you,
Thank you.
to a new grade 15, and the scale is attached. If you have any questions on the appendix 1, is attached. Article 3, amending some language to include gender identity and sexual orientation. Hours of work, this is adding a weekend shift, which will be Wednesday to Sunday. The hours will be 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And the employee who gets this shift is going to get a shift differential to compensate for the weekend and night shift. There's also going to be a stipend, automobile stipend of $600 for the use of personal vehicles as they drive around using their personal vehicles. So there's going to be a stipend for that. and also includes the post-accident drug and alcohol testing as we had on the previous union negotiation, and this, again, following the employee handbook policy. I was able to get from the ISD director some of the things that the new position that's going to be created is going to be doing, so I'll be more than happy to share that with you. The job hasn't been posted. This is just some of the
Council President. So he just
So, I mean, are
informed
you
me of
gonna talk about
something.
the items that is on ordinance currently? That haven't been posted yet?
No, I'm just talking about what the contract says.
No, the new position.
Based on what the contract says?
So you're gonna be describing what the new position is gonna do, right?
Well, only if you want me to.
Yeah, just I mean, that's up to you.
So if it's still an ordinance, that means that the ordinance for the position has not been approved.
So I'm just,
So let's
I'm
not
just
talk about
limiting
that.
myself to what the contract says. If you have questions, I can elaborate more.
Okay, thank you.
But by the way, you can send that over to personnel director, because that was the decision of the ordinance.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions on the items?
Councilor LaPlante.
I'm just eager to know why you were about to go to talk about an unordinance position in this as it relates to the contract. Is there a relationship between the unapproved ordinance or
No,
job
so
position?
this is just authorizing the new hours of work and overtime so that the union is allowing us to,
So what does that have to, is there is there a correlation between this new position and the off hours, the weekend shift?
so it is my understanding that that position is created to do certain tasks that are specifically better done during those work hours.
Okay, so again, I get the sensitivity. We don't want to talk about a position that has not been ordinance yet, but yet we are in this contract, apparently, at least nodding, at least acknowledging that there may be a change, and with that change, we have work hours. Is that?
Right, so remember, before we go ahead and do anything and ask anything of the employees, we do have to negotiate it with the union. So
Okay.
this language here allows the city to be able to consider doing something like that. So then it will always be up to the council, of course, to decide what you want to do, what position it's going to be, and when it gets posted and so forth. So this is just allowing the city to be able to ask the union to get that position posted.
All right, so
or
I'm still.
created.
You, Mr. Spanner, you're about to add to clarify this so I can understand this better.
wanted to clarify, because the CAFO does the number job and work in part of the negotiation. As you know, we have issues going on after hours. The current union, the union agreement that we have doesn't provide for any individual to work after work hours or after the regular hours. So we have violations in the city, as you know, because it goes also with the expenditures that we have, starting with the food trucks, for instance.
Okay.
We have, for instance, regulations. We have given them notices as to how they need to upkeep or how to take care of the trash. We know, as a community, that from Sunday to Monday, when we start, the place looks horrible. So how do we enforce if there's no code enforcer or inspector after work hours? Illegal dumping, second of all. We have illegal dumping, we expended, or you approved together with the recommendation of the mayor, $700,000 to clean the Spigot River. We have tried with DPW, have tried to negotiate with the unions with no luck, with no avail. Couldn't get in an agreement with the current agreement that we have to have an employee to work out of, what do you call it?
Classification?
Classification. Okay? The union disagree. I remember, we started that like 6 months ago, while before starting the cleanup with the Spigot River. We know that illegal dumping happens anytime after 8 o'clock when it gets dark, during summertime when there's activities around 10 o'clock, and this position, if I'm not mistaken, works until 11 o'clock at night, correct? So that's the best we could have negotiated, to have at least someone in the evening to have oversight, to supervise, and having the ability to issue warnings and citations, but currently, we don't have it. Not at all. And also inspection, food inspection, it goes beyond to food inspection, any establishment that is open at night that is doing irregular activities or not in compliance with the law, we don't have any supervision at all. So that gives you some sort of clarity why we negotiated this.
Through you. So that makes perfect sense to me. I appreciate that. Now the 11 o'clock hour makes some sense. You're talking about food and going to the food trucks, for example, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I think I'm going to hold back my thoughts regarding the potential ordinance and the change, but conceptually, I am in agreement with you, Mr. Spanner, that the breaking of our laws don't necessarily are confined between 8:30 and 4:30 Monday through Friday. We have smart people who decide they know where to cut the corners and when we're working, when we're not working, and things happen. And so I hope that, we need to, at some point, finances being what they are, we need to figure out a way that we go beyond just the food and safety,
Correct.
but other construction work. I mean, my goodness. I mean, I'm walking around. I mean, we've all walked around the neighborhoods a lot during the summertime for obvious reasons. And when we're walking around, we're seeing stuff without pieces of paper saying permit to operate, permit to construct.
Mold
And that's happening
removal,
all over.
asbestos removal.
It's a lot of stuff going on, and so we can't close down operations after 4:30 on some things. And my last point, on this, I've been saying this for many, many years, and I guess I'll say it again tonight, which is this: out of all the departments in the city, of course, we want police and fire. We're big on public safety. We always have and always will be. But the one department that continues to be, I think, overlooked as to the impact that it has in our city is inspectional services. They have so much importance in the day-to-day activities in the lives of our population. And that we sometimes, it's a revolving door of leadership, for example. And there's a lot of things that it doesn't seem to be very stable. And that's the one place that we need stability, and we need to work on it. So the step in the right direction. So I'm happy with do we have the money for this? We have the money? Okay, that's all. That's really what I need to know. But since we're talking about a little more deeply, that is out of all my concerns in the department, ISD, it's got to be near the top.
Agreed, Counselor. And I think when we get at that time that we have discussions concerning the position, both at the ordinance as well as personnel, I think you're going to contribute. I mean, there's a need for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President?
Sure. Just for the sake of the conversation, what was the position title that you were about to discuss?
I do not have a title for what they're proposing.
No,
Or
the
what
new
what's on the
ordinance,
contract?
the new ordinance to create a position that you were going to
I
discuss.
don't have an ordinance. I just wanted to give you some of the examples of the things that position was going to do. I don't have an
And
ordinance.
there is no name for that position?
It's
You
not,
don't have it?
no.
Okay, perfect. Because I mean, when you guys were talking about that the work hours, I was confused because the work hours apply to the seniors, not the new employees.
Well, the way the contract was written, it says, such shift will be posted and awarded to the most senior Health, Safety, and Equity Inspector 1. We have Health and Safety Inspector 2 and 1. 2 are the most senior, but within the 1, the most senior will be that bids
Yeah.
on the position.
All right. I just want to make sure. Like I'm not against discussing the position, but it is or the whatever you have there. But it is we are on the. I was here last night when the ordinance committee sent correspondence to the different departments to make sure that they have everything in place so we can continue the discussion. It's not like I want to
Yeah.
talk about it.
To
I
be
mean,
honest with you, I reached out to the ISD director today, and I said, can you just give me some duties as to what this person's gonna do, so I can be, in case you guys asked, I just wanted to be
it's not
prepared.
related to finance.
I'm sorry?
It is not related to finance.
What do you mean?
So this contract is just
position.
for that position?
Yeah. Fine. All right, no problem. So I just have a couple of questions related to the contract in general. Once you open up the discussion for the contract, and then I have those
Go ahead,
questions.
you have the floor.
Okay, no problem. So, essentially, how many, the intents of that, work hours and overtime, in that, paragraph, the intent is to have multiple inspectors during the night, or just one?
One.
One, okay. One at the beginning, or later on, we're gonna have more?
The way it's written now, it's to have,
We're gonna rotate?
no, that's not the rotation.
No, there's not rotation
They
here.
do have an on-call for the building inspectors, but this one is one person, is gonna have that schedule, that shift.
Can you just mention the last part?
So we do have on-call, which is on a rotating basis for our building inspectors. This particular one individual is going to have that position.
Okay, perfect. One thing that I'm gonna request from you, since you just mentioned, can you ask we receive an email every week from DPW saying, oh, this is the on-call person, in case something happened with the DPW. Every week, everybody receives that. We don't receive that from inspection services.
Okay. Do you want me to ask
And
them
it
to?
will be important to have, because I have seen many construction that potentially could be illegal construction, because it's a pattern of things that happen. Roof get done every weekend, not during the week. I don't want to say that every roof is illegal, or they don't have the permit, but I tend to see it more during the weekend. So if we have that person at least to check on some of those permits, obviously they can get fined if they don't post it on the window as per the state law. They're supposed to have it on the window posted, just for people to drive around and take a look at it.
Yes.
And essentially, I want to kind of like, get that, available, at least for the counselor. Another
Absolutely.
thing that I want to bring up to you, do you think that $600 stipend for the use of personal vehicle, is that, I don't want to say it in the wrong way, but I mean, shouldn't they get miles based on the federal regulations?
We do not reimburse them for miles.
I say
the driving.
should there, because I mean they're using the personal vehicles to do city
Right.
inspections.
I don't know. At one point, I think they did get some kind of stipend for vehicles many, many years ago. They haven't gotten that for at least 10 years, is my understanding. So they do drive their vehicle, wear and tear, gas, and so forth. So that's a way of compensating them without the record keeping of mileage and having to figure out where they drove, if it was personal or business. I think this is an easier way to just compensate them for the use of their vehicle.
Just thinking through it, I mean, if you have 3 inspections every day, and you need to go from south to north, and then going back to south, and then coming back to the office, that is a significant amount of miles that potentially could be compensated. Just say, I mean, you guys went through the negotiation. I don't know what happened there, but I mean, if I'm
I
part
think
of that
this is
union,
a step.
I'd
This
be-
is a
I'd be
step
on
in the
top
right
of that one.
direction. This is a step in the right direction to make
Yeah.
sure we
All
compensate
right,
them.
all right. I don't wanna put you in the bad position next year, but I mean, all right. Thank you. No problem.
Any other questions or comments, councilors? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to send it to the full council with a favorable recommendation.
Motion has been made by the council president, seconded by the vice chair. Any further discussion? No? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the ayes have it. All right, next item, item 6-26, SEIU Local 3 Clerical Union Collective Bargaining Agreement, CBA, transfer in the amount of $83,504 from general fund and enterprise fund accounts to various salary funds to fund the CBA. So many funds. Cathal, you have the floor.
Thank you. Clerical union, we have many clerks and clerical positions in about 14 departments have clerical positions. Throughout the budget, we have 42 positions that relate to this particular collective bargaining union. So if I go through the synopsis, some of the things we have is within the discipline, by written agreement, the union, the city may extend the probationary period for an additional 3 months. It was, that way the departments have a little more flexibility in terms of the probationary period. A new section was added within the training. Whenever a civilian call taker is training a new call taker, the trainer shall receive a training stipend of $1.50 per hour while training the new hires. That's something that the union wanted us to include, and we granted that request. Overtime must be offered to bargaining unit members. If no bargaining unit members are available to work, the city may then offer the overtime outside the bargaining unit. And this applies to all positions covered under the CBA. Another section that was adjusted was specifying that the traffic control officers report to DPW. At one point, they were kind of back and forth between DPW and police.
I was going to say, that's one thing that till this day does not make sense to me. When it comes to traffic control, I always communicate with the police department, because for me, traffic, police department. I want to know the logic behind this being under DPW.
Budget.
Well, because of the budget? Is that the reason that you guys got during collective bargaining?
Well, in
Like, what
terms
is-
of operations as well, we can have the police chiefs elaborate more, but it's my understanding that they thought it would be best under DPW.
No.
I know, we went back and
That
forth.
doesn't make sense to me,
It's-
but,
it's- yeah.
okay, thanks.
Yep.
Continue, Capo.
This is another union that we added, the post-accident drug and alcohol testing. Most of the people in this union are clerks, but when it comes to the parking control officers, they do drive, so that applies to them. Again, this union is getting a 2.5 wage increase for the next 3 fiscal years. Any questions?
I have one comment, going back to the traffic control. There has been various instances where I see a vehicle, traffic control, identified traffic control vehicle, and I see the employees that are supposed to be helping with traffic control during whether if it's a construction site, whatever the case may be. they're just sitting in their cars, not doing. I've seen it on their phone, chatting with one another when they're supposed to be out of their vehicles, helping with traffic control. How are we I mean, I guess this is a DPW director question, but Advisor Spanner here, maybe this is more for you. How are we going to monitor that moving forward? Because I've seen this on various occasions.
Without interfering and, like you said, the two directors, DPW directors and the chief of police need to come to an agreement. But as we know, the history is that in terms of command, and when there's a roll call in the evening or during the day, there's always issues in police officers looking at parking attendance, or I mean parking.
Traffic
What do you
control?
call it? Traffic control as part of their
Just
of the enforcement portion of the work that law enforcement does. Nevertheless, and that's the reason why it's basically under DPW. We can have conversations and see how that can work in the future, but that's the basic answer. So in order for us not to go back and forth between two departments, the best resolution is to have DPW be in charge of it until we can, and other communities, that's the same thing. I've been in many others, law enforcement, they don't like the parking to be part of their responsibility. That's something that is different, and because they don't see them as law enforcement, members of the law enforcement department.
But
That's
when
it.
we have
And in
traffic
terms of-
control being at,
That's the other answer. That is just oversight. If you have, I've seen it before, not only here, but even the community where I live and other work employees or municipal employees, municipalities where I work, we have those issues, and it's just about supervision. That's the reason why you have a supervisor that needs to drive around and see what's happening in the community. There's no excuse. I'm not coming before you and say that we're not, that we are perfect, or there's no slack in the system, or deficiencies, but there is. I've seen employees sleeping on the job. I've seen police officers sleeping on the job. For whatever reason, I'm not coming here to bash in response to it. We're humans and we commit error. And those that are not supervised would always commit, they're going to slack.
well, can you relay the message to
Yes.
the DPW director that this was brought up, and so that could be in mind for the future?
I will
please?
ask the DPW director
Thank
to
you.
listen to look at the video and see for himself. But I will
Perfect.
convey the message.
Thank
Thank you.
Just stay right there.
Council President.
Stay right there.
Wait,
No, to the senior advisor.
Council President.
But that doesn't mean that, and sorry, before I continue, Madam Chair, this is a lot of work in this community and defending, and I am defending the DPW director and also all of us that are involved as part of the administration. I'm not going to throw in under the bus, nor the police department. I think all of us have a responsibility, and, we will convey the message and make sure that we can do better.
Thank you. Council President.
Sure. Through you, Madam Chair. So essentially, just walk me through. There is a do not park from here to corner issue that is blocking up basically the intersection. People that is driving need to stop on the stop sign. They're not able to look at the sight distance of that intersection get reduced by quite significant amount of distance, and that person decide to call the police department because of that's a violation. So what the department is going to do at that point?
They would have to issue a ticket.
But that's a non-movement, not moving violation. It's standing, sparking. What the police is gonna do?
It's
They're gonna send a police officer?
Sorry?
Are they gonna send a police officer
Of
there?
course, they have to send a police officer. It depends on what happens. The car may be towed. And a tow can only be towed, a vehicle can only be towed if the police officer gives the okay.
But
In terms of giving a ticket, that's the parking traffic control that needs to do that.
so the police is gonna call DPW, and the DPW gonna send traffic control over.
No, it's directly to the police department. The police department needs to go and make sure that the towing company is called for the car, it needs to be towed.
But you see, what's the issue is it's like, you know, somebody's parking right now on the hydrant, and people call the police. Is the police is gonna come, or they gonna refer that phone call to traffic control, which is at the DPW now? And if that's the case, how the communication is gonna work to get that traffic control officer to take care of that ticket? How that gonna work? I just wanna imagine
to
it.
facilitate that for you, Council President, I would have the DPW director and also a response from the police chief how the two departments work together.
Okay, because
Okay?
and the reason
Because that doesn't only happen because it can happen also with emergency services in general that will fall
Yeah.
under the fire department.
because the reason that I'm asking is because I wanted to break down some historical facts around that specific position. During Danny's administration, at the beginning of the administration, he sent traffic control over to the police department because it was unsupervised, and that and the communication between the two departments were not quite there. So it was important to the mayor at that point that the traffic control has a supervision from the police department and be able to manage those phone calls right away through the radio. And that was one of the situation as of where it was managed at the police department, but it was budgeted at the DPW department, and then they just basically work it there. And at some point that worked well. But I just want to make sure, like, if they are the police, they're not longer there, how are I going to be able to get that message across from my constituents and be able to get a result on time, and how the communication is going to work? I mean, I don't want to give you a hard time, but I want to make sure, like, we have that in place as to how things are going to work.
Yeah.
Because-
in some communities, Council President, in some communities it work, depending on the size, depending on the complexity within the community. In other communities, it doesn't work. Okay, one of the issues are, and also that's the reason why you have union negotiation, bargaining units advocating for the employees, and some of them feel that, and I can say that because I participated one, like, I don't know if it was 3 years ago, that they felt that the police department was condescending. Was that true or not? No, but it was part of the negotiations.
I understand.
So,
I understand.
you know, that information could be discussed and provided to you.
Yeah.
But I would not stand here and give you misinformation because.
No, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I
What
would like, whatever it is that you guys figure out, if it's determined before the full council meeting, I would like that to be part of the official documents for this, just so we have that included, and we
Right.
know what to expect after these contracts get approved by the
Yeah.
full council.
Well, we would have that information provided through a memo document so
Perfect.
you guys can review. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
So, and that will be, that through you, Madam Chair. And that will be a joint memo between the police and the DPW, correct?
And with the administration.
Yes,
And the administration,
right.
that we all agree upon how the
As an
communication.
explanation, we are coming before you
Of course,
just as part of, you know, a preliminary, okay, to get your blessing for us to, for the Department for us to look at the numbers and also to make sure that we can have certain agreements in place as part of the bargaining agreement that we have. Then further details, if you need explanation like you're having right now, we will provide.
No, and just through you, Madam Chair, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we have this contract in front of us. Now, eventually, what I have seen over the years is that when something works is perfect, but when something goes wrong, and then it does the council approval contract. And I don't want to hear that because it's unfair to the council that we are taking this step into a good faith because the administration is going to manage the situation. But when something doesn't work, it's like, okay,
Counselors.
it's fell into the council because, the council approved the contract.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we need your blessing, but at the same time, and I hate to say it and bring it forward, but that's part of the executive branch, that we make sure that we negotiate within reason. And if you have, let's say, two directors with two different opinions or two different strategies, but they came to an agreement, then, our hands are tied when it comes to negotiating because we're sending mixed messages to the attorney that the law firm that is negotiating for us. But if that's a favorable deal and we're bringing before the mayor, then that's it.
That's
what
not-
we're going to present to you.
I'm going to interject here. That's not the point that the council president is trying, respectfully, Advisor Spanner. What the council president is trying to state is that when the executive branch comes before the legislative branch for a vote, for an approval, whatever it may be, in good faith, we think that this is a great idea, both parties. But when things go wrong, one of the first things that gets said is that, well, the council approved this. Oh, the council, when we're going into this together, we all have equal amount of responsibility and accountability. And I believe that's what you're trying to get to.
Correct.
He got me.
Okay.
Just looking around.
Okay, well, you know me.
Yes. But good for clarifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think moving forward, the way, I think we're all just trying to work better together. This is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
As well.
Good.
Okay, thank you, Advisor Spanner. Any other further questions or comments? Councilor Marmol. Thank you.
Real quick, and this is pretty simple. I was just curious as to what was the driving force of the extension of the probationary period for an additional 3 months. I missed my place as to what page that's on, but I know it's around here.
I can show you.
But I know it says that it extended it
It's
for an
the
additional
first-
3
yeah,
months. So I
it's-
was just curious as to what was the driving force for that specific change? Okay, I found it.
I don't have the answer as to what exactly triggered that. I believe it's something that I guess it was needed maybe based on previous history of an employee that the 6 months expired and now we can't really do anything, or it makes it harder within the union negotiations. Whereas if you have an extra time, you have an extra additional time to make sure that the employee works out with the department. So that's what I'm thinking about, extending that time.
Okay. And the reason why I asked, because I don't, my mind went straight to like, are we giving them an extra 3 months to get it together? Are we just finding, I don't know, it's making me wonder.
Right, so
Is it we're allowing them to get it together, or is it that we are dropping the ball and we
So-
need an additional 3 months to deal with the paperwork and making a decision? So,
it's my understanding that now the department head has additional time to decide whether this employee is working out within the department.
yeah, I feel like I don't know how to feel about that, because I feel like if an employee within the 6 months cannot demonstrate within those 6 months that they're qualified, like giving them an additional 3 months, which again, as a supervisor, to sit down and having these conversations, I don't know, I don't know how to feel about it. But that's why I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt to like, I didn't want to have my own perception of what this additional 3 months meant.
So it might have been something that maybe a few of the departments that negotiated that have this particular bargaining unit within their departments requested, and that was something that was negotiated with the union.
Okay. What was that?
Council. More information. Would you like more information
I
on
would
this?
like that. I mean, I saw Senior Advisor Spanner, you tend to have a lot of input and knowledge in terms of some of the union conversations that we've been having thus far. So I'm not sure if you heard my question. Okay. I had asked what was the driving force for the additional 3 months to be added to the probationary period. So do you happen to know what was the conversation and like what drove the negotiation to want to add the additional 3 months?
Well, usually when you add additional time, let's say if your probation period is 1 month, you won't get to know the employee.
But you
But that's
typically
half a
probationary
year.
periods are for 6.
That's a half a year.
That's average, average
Yeah.
6 months. So I was just wondering, like, why the additional 3 months? And
Yeah.
just, to add a little context, I had mentioned to Ms. Ceballos that I personally feel iffy about it because it's making me question and wonder if these additional 3 months is to allow for an employee that if they haven't demonstrated within the first 6 months that they're qualified, then an additional 3 months, it's kind of like giving them more time to dot their I's and cross their T's, and I just don't know how to feel about it. Who brought it up?
Let me get back to you.
Okay. Now,
Let's
I
go
was just
back.
curious, and I would like to know if this was
Yeah.
something that was negotiated more from the union side of things, or if that was
Yeah,
something
that was a
from.
request from the union, correct? We have to double check.
Okay.
Yeah.
And please make sure it's accurate because this is 32BJ. We do have connections in these unions, so we will make sure to get
Of
the
course you will pay
accurate
attention to
information. So just make sure.
Jay. Yeah.
Thanks.
32.
All right.
We got it.
And my apologies if I'm hindering
No, no, no,
anything.
no. I mean,
Because
these are
out of the
legitimate-
whole thing, I don't
That's-
like, oh, everything seemed like,
It is
everything
not
seemed
an
fair.
inconvenience.
But that was that one thing that it just made me question, like, why?
Right, it's good. It's a good question, and we're gonna go back. Sorry if we're not able to answer it
No,
right
no,
now
no, no.
because
No apologies
there's a
needed.
lot of going back and forth.
Okay. So are we motion to table or are
Council
we?
President has one more follow-up question. Council President.
Just to follow up on that, what Councilor Mamos said, and it's a little concerning because sometimes when the employee, they want to be settled at the 6-month period. And if that have an extra 3 months, that need to be well defined as of what is the purpose of the 3 months, but the settlement portion of the employment, that should be remain as a 6 month, at least. You know what I mean?
This is what the answer, what I wanted to get, and go back with the attorneys. Yes, you're correct. But sometimes it requires, let's say if there's certain certifications that are required for the job. And I can tell you for different city departments, not to mention one in specific, we're busy in the city, really, really busy. And certain departments doesn't have assistants. Some departments, they're changing roles because there has been many changes within the city. And if they require, let's say, certain certifications or preparation or training, and 6 months is not sufficient to do that, or they're not prepared to do that, then it is logic that you have employees that have missed the opportunity that would say, man, gee, if I had additional time to get ready, that may have helped. That's a supposition. That's a supposition. I'll give you another example. For instance,
Another good example.
Continue, just
yeah, that might be one of the challenge, and we want to go back to the attorney and VDH and to find out and go back and to get information and provide the information that you need.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I agree, I will, if we have actual examples of that, I would love to hear about that. I believe some committee members would as well. I'm going to table until we have an answer for this. Well, I'm gonna request a table, I'm gonna ask, not request, depending on how the committee votes, but I'm going to ask to get a motion to table this item. Item 6-26, until we get a clearer response to that specific portion of the
Yep,
contract.
I'll reach out to the attorney, and again, I wasn't on a lot of this negotiation, so
Oh, we
I'm
understand.
not sure what the underlying
Madam Chair.
notion was.
Thank
But I'll
you.
definitely get that
Counselor-
from the attorney.
Thank you,
Madam Chair,
Councilor LaPlante.
Before you ask someone for the motion, is there enough money in our budget? Is this funded, is this contract going to be able to be funded?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, councilors, can I have a motion to table item 6-26?
So move.
Motion has been made by the vice chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the council president. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any nays? Seeing none, the ayes have it. So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
All right, last item. No,
There's two more.
we need to table the last one.
Oh.
Item 6-26, 8-26, transfer funds in the amount of $100,000 from emergency management, permanent salary and wages to professional services, brought to us by Paul Macaroon, Director of Support Services for the Lawrence Fire Department, for Chief Delaney. I'm assuming Director? You're a director?
No.
No?
No.
Or here?
No.
Okay.
The
So
chief is
who-
here.
Oh, you guys are here for the last one. I'm sorry.
This is the last one?
It's been a long,
This one, the one we're discussing.
I'm sorry, I'm
correct.
sorry. It's been a long day. Chief, or I guess,
Yeah.
are you
I'm
going to
gonna
speak
s-
on this?
Yeah,
Okay, Advisor
Madam-
Spanner.
Chair, I'm going to start and then I'll pass the word to, because this is also a request from the mayor's office. And this request is an appropriation transfer in the amount of $100,000 originally allocated for the emergency management position to the fire department for the purpose of compensating Golden Thread Agency, the consultant retained to prepare the city emergency plan. The fire chief is here, present. We have also requested the principals of the, and representative of Golden Thread Agency to be here for any other questions that you guys, that this council, this body has. This request is consistent with the directive previously provided by the city council during the budget preparation. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, because today the chief and I spoke, I think is the previous council requested through you, Mr. Councilor LaPlante. Yeah, and I won't make that mistake. And that we basically agree at some point that it would be best to have a consultant prepare the emergency management plan, and then for us to go over into more specific into the position.
The consultant, I'm sorry, can you repeat the company's name?
Golden
Golden
Thread,
Thread. Okay, so Golden
Agency.
Thread Agency
right?
invoiced the city for $100,000.
Yes, they were.
Okay, so now my
And if I-
question is, why isn't that invoice provided as a supporting document for this agenda item? We only have the memo, the original
No, we have
request.
nothing,
We don't
that's
have a
basically-
copy of the invoice to prove that,
Okay,
That
so,
was-
that is I'll take that responsibility. There's 4 invoices.
thank you.
correct? Five
Thank you.
invoices that were submitted. I acknowledge that. I did ask the consulting firm to provide you with the draft emergency plan, but I missed that one.
Okay, so five
I thought that was provided to you as well, but I'll take the blame.
5 invoices.
5 invoices from July 2025 when they started until, if I'm not mistaken, October or November.
All right.
But I can provide that to you, okay? So I'm going back, so the council, the previous council requested for us to prepare an emergency plan, and the administration, which asked the administration to complete a comprehensive plan prior to hiring of an emergency director. In response, the administration retained Golden Thread Agency through a city-issued request for proposal process. The firm was selected from a pool of qualified respondents, and the preparation of the emergency management plan was explicitly included within the contract scope. The emergency plan has now been completed and is currently in draft form, and that was being provided to you and has been distributed to the mayor, city councilors, and city clerk.
And that was, and that was the drive, the folder that was shared with us.
Yeah, and I
A
think
few
all
nights
of you
ago.
have
Yep.
received it through email,
We did, Yep. It
and the
was-
city clerk.
yep. I responded,
I
I,
probably saw that link que said, no, it's in the spam.
so the council president just, and this is important, and I want to just touch on this because, council president just said, I probably saw that, but I thought it was a spam email or something. I specifically, I want to say thank you for actually using a city email this time for a consultant agency, because that's the first thing I checked was the address, and I did see a legitimate name at cityoflawrence.com, so that's how I knew it was safe for me to click on that.
Correct.
So councilors,
It's good.
but we have so many phishing emails that come in. But for future, that's what I did, and then that's how I determined, okay, this is a legitimate email that we're receiving, so. I can forward it to you.
We just for,
I think the address is PDM,
At City
no,
of Lawrence.
PMD, Consulting,
I have a couple of questions.
city@cityoflawrence.com.
And,
Yeah, because we get emails all the time
It's like, I'm
And
not
I-
clicking it.
from people like offering services, so.
Yeah, so they were requested to, and we sent it also to city clerk, so you can have it for tonight and also for the city council meeting next Tuesday. Anyway, throughout the process, the consultant worked directly with all relevant city departments, including fire, police, inspectional services, health and human services, public works, and the mayor's office. This collaborative approach ensured the plan is comprehensive, operationally sound, and reflective of the citywide expertise. First presented to the City Council nearly 4 years ago, this initiative represents a critical step in strengthening the city's emergency preparedness. Emergency management planning is essential to protecting lives, coordinating interdepartmental response, and maintaining public confidence during emergencies. This plan serves several core functions. Number one, life safety and risk reduction. Number two, coordination and resource management. Three, economic and infrastructure resiliency. And fourth, public trust and stability. This appropriation would allow the city to fulfill a longstanding city council directive, formalize work already completed, and ensure Lawrence is equipped with a comprehensive emergency management framework. Before introducing the representatives of Golden Thread Agency, I would like our fire chief, Patrick Delaney, to speak to you because he was mostly involved with the agency in terms of overseeing, review, providing information that is necessary for this plan.
thank you. Before we move on, I believe you had a question. Was it
I mean,
for
I just
Okta?
allow.
Okay, go ahead.
Evening, Madam Chair, councilors, Patrick Delaney, Fire Chief. So this plan is a long time in the making. I know the senior advisor just gave a little a little briefing on it. I have a hard copy of the plan. I have reviewed the plan. I had part in developing this plan, and I have wrote a summary of the plan. I don't know if you'd like to hear the summary of what the plan involves.
Is it written through you? Is it written?
What's that, sir?
Is your summary written?
Yes. My summary, I did.
Councilor Plant.
The reason I'm asking, I'm struggling right now to try to open up the document.
I have a hard copy here.
I'm just wondering how thick this document is.
Well, this is a base plan. So the base plan is the framework. That's what kind of stays constant in an emergency operations plan. And then every department was, had to develop their annexes. And their annexes, they allow each department to plan for a unique role without duplicating the entire plan. The base plan, that stays stable while the annexes provide department-specific actions, responsibilities, and resources. They make the plan practical and actionable. Annexes answer the real operational questions: who does what, when, with what resources. They allow flexibility as departments evolve. A public works annex can be updated without reopening the entire plan, keeping the document current and usable. They support specialized hazards and functions. Examples include fire and EMS operations, police and security functions, public works and infrastructure, health and human services, communications, IT, sheltering, and evacuation. So it's two parts. You have a base plan that remains, it kind of remains constant a little bit more. And then again, your annexes, each department, the firm worked with each department to develop their own plan. So we did have a snow emergency in the city this weekend, and, you know, the fire department, we operate in NIMS, we operate, you know, through MEMA and the ICS system. A lot of other departments, the police department does, a lot of other departments do. So it gives them a base of how they're gonna operate, and it depends on what type of emergency, who's in charge of that emergency. Certain things happen that the police play more of the front role, the other emergencies, part of the, maybe the fire department plays a role. The emergency management director is always the communications with MEMA, Massachusetts Emergency Management System.
Just before you go,
Yes, and
I did, because of that question about it being a legitimate email or not, I did just in real time re-forwarded your email to all the counselors so they know this is legitimate, this is real city business, please open it, it's important. And that's it.
Yes.
And I said good night. So just want to make sure that they're prepared for the meeting.
And I apologize, you should have gotten my directive to Paul Macaron was to include those invoices, and I believe my conversations with him, he said they were in the packet, so I'll take responsibility if they're not in there.
Can we make sure to have them? Can you forward them to
Yes,
our secretary and to the council so that we all have
sure
them?
thing.
Thank you.
So again, I have I wrote a summary of the plan. I think it's very well developed. It was a lot of time put forth with the fire department, sitting with them, a lot of phone calls, a lot of back and forth. I think it's great to have a third party look through that lens and have them, you know, they're professionals. That's what they do, and I think they put together a great document here.
Can you also provide your summary of the plan?
Yes, would you like to
Yes.
hear it?
Sure.
I got a couple different versions, but I read the plan and I put a summary together.
Just send it over to us. And
Yeah.
we'll read it. We'll
Okay,
read it at our own
that's
time.
even
Thank you,
better.
though.
That's even better, thank you. And if you have any questions
Councilors,
for me?
Any questions or comments? Council President.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I was just going through very quick about this is about the document, and I find that there was a snow emergency response here. This is the final document already?
No.
This is just the draft, okay.
This is, sorry, excuse me. This is the final draft that they're presenting based on all the information that they have requested from departments, department heads, they went back and forth many times. The mayor's office, we haven't reviewed it. I personally haven't read it yet because we have an expert, right? We have an expert who is the fire chief, and we have the police chief who was also involved. However, there might be things from that we would like to be added, and that's one thing that we need to look at, because it's okay for you to have a plan, but like in other communities that are really efficient with the emergency plan, you also have training being provided to staff in terms of a response, mock trials, and you also we have 6 districts. So each one of the districts, we would like to give it as an example, the neighborhood, what do you call it, neighborhood watch or
The community,
no, neighborhood, what do you call it? No, those that, not neighborhood watch, association, neighborhood association. So they, at least 2 individuals or 3 individuals could be also trained. They call them CERT trainings. So in case of an emergency, and emergencies mean different things. It could be a snowstorm, it could be an active shooting, it could be it could be flooding, it could be many other stuff that in which we need to be prepared for.
Just to continue.
Explosions, it could be anything.
Gotcha. But all those emergencies must be declared by the mayor.
Sorry?
All those emergencies must be declared by the mayor under the
course.
recommendation of a department head or the emergency manager.
Yes.
All right, so essentially what I'm seeing here is that, with the section 3.2 of the snow emergency, we have a specific section on our ordinances as of how that should be declared. So these documents should reflect the language that we already have on that on our own ordinance,
Of course.
not just doing something here that is a little different than what the ordinance read.
No, you're absolutely right.
So-
What we don't have, and we all look at the news. In the last, from 2022 till now, and I've done my research as well. And recently, I think during vacation, I was looking at the TV, the news overseas. There was I don't know if it was Texas, there was an emergency. Unfortunately, the city didn't have an emergency plan. So your recommendation as a city council to the administration when we're going through the budget was actually really good. Let's go for an emergency plan, and then we will go for the position. Even though you could have gone both routes, but in an emergency plan gives you a guide as to, and the community, not only city staff and emergency staff, but also the entire community can follow and find it on the website and know exactly what is going on. Because it's not only a plan in terms of triage or whatever the emergency is, but evacuation routes, information, communication. That was one of the challenges that we had in the last moment. How do we communicate this information to the public?
All right, perfect.
I would like to give the opportunity.
Of course, I have a question for them.
Before we go to the consultants, your question's for the
It's for the
consultant?
consultant, yeah.
Councilor Plans, your question for the administration or the consultants?
I'm not sure, so I'll hold off until I hear everything and then
Okay, all right.
I may answer it.
Yeah. So Karen and Sean.
Good evening.
Good
City
evening.
Council. I'm Karen Martin. I'm the founder and lead of Golden Thread Agency. So we were the ones who were contracted to work on this project with you. I've brought tonight with me our project lead and expert when it comes to emergency management plans and building. Happy to answer any questions that you may have. The link that I sent you is created on your OneDrive. Again, trying to keep everything secure, easy for you to access. And what you received were 3 different folders. The first one has the draft of the complete base plan in it. The next folder has department annexes, and there was 7 of those completed. And then the last one are your specific hazard focused annexes. So there's 5 of those that were completed. So base plan, hazard specific, department specific. And Sean Martin's here to answer any specific questions you have related to what we developed for you.
I think,
Orange, sure.
so you have a consultant-specific question, so we'll go with you, Councilor Platt.
I have a question for the consultant. So just please walk me through an emergency, perhaps an emergency that we're very familiar around us, the gas explosion. So how does your plan describe the line of communication for that specific emergency? So how the communication will happen, like how?
So, again, Sean Martin from Golden Thread Consultants. Again, thank you for having us. So the 5, to answer your question, we did 5 hazards. The 5 hazards we chose were based on a survey put out to all the department heads, listing in priority what your biggest concerns were. They chose the 5 biggest concerns were active shooter, flood, winter weather storm, fire conflagration, and hazmat. So if you start with them before we move into your question regarding the gas explosion, the base plan delineates which agency is the lead agency to respond. So it holds the department heads accountable. It says you are responsible for these types of emergencies. Then it also states which agencies are the assists.
So the department head?
The chief, fire chief,
Yeah.
police chief,
The department
public
head.
works. Yeah, department heads.
Right, right. Just
So the
wanna
plan will
understand it.
basically put some ownership in them, hold them accountable. You're responsible for these emergencies, whether you're the lead or the assist. Then it's up to the department heads to develop their standard operating procedures on how to address each emergency. Okay, so the plan, emergency operation plan is a framework for coordinated emergency response by both multi-agency and multi-jurisdictional personnel. Then it delineates who is the lead and who's the assist. All this will be done through the emergency management director. We'll coordinate with these people, who's the lead, who's the assist. Then they work from within to develop their own SOPs to address specific emergencies. We don't tell the police how they're going to address certain emergencies. We tell them they're responsible for them. We could give them outlines. They know their resources. They come up with their plan internally for each respective emergency. They train to it. They test the plan. They modify the plan. Then they implement the plan. And they do that based on exercises they should be conducted by themselves or multi-agency wise, cross-jurisdiction wise. And that's how you continually test these plans and modify them as you go. And in their living documents, you could modify them continually as you go, as you find improvements, as you want to add more hazards. If you want to add a gas explosion, you do a gas explosion hazard index, and then you go through the same way. You delineate who's the lead, who's the assist, and then it's up to the lead agency to develop an SOP on whoever your lead agency is and who you designate. That chief or that director either designates someone to or handles it themselves, and they come up with the SOP to address it.
So we didn't have one for a gas explosion?
No, the top 5 hazards that all the stakeholders throughout the city of Lawrence identified were active shooter, a hazmat situation, fire conflagration, large fires, flooding, and a winter weather storm warning. Those are the 5 that were their 5 priorities, and the 5 we chose and went with. Well, they chose and we developed.
I understand. It is kind of like, it's like, I don't understand, because I mean, we are the most experienced community when it comes to a gas explosion. I think like maybe the second one, maybe a Springfield, that they have a gas explosion back on the days. But I mean, I think that we should kind of like, look into it, because I mean, we have those experience. And we can identify what we have when it comes to communication. Because the reason why I'm asking is because I was councilor during the gas explosion. And it was extremely frustrated to get a communication out, at least from different point of view, because we didn't have a document. And I'm not picking on that gas explosion per se, but I have taken, as a matter of fact, on that day of the gas explosion, and I was in Florida and Miami, already checking into my hotel, taking a training on emergency management response, while I get a phone call. It was through Naleo, and I get a phone call that Lawrence, over 60 different explosions are happening throughout Lawrence. So I took the flight back right away, get back like around 10:30, and then I joined the effort. And it was not well defined from my point of view as of what need to happen when it comes to the communication of the issue. Obviously, we had the mayor at that time that was well spoken and having an opportunity to express and communicate with the community. But half of the community basically shifted to the or moved to the other side of the city. And that was a challenging situation, and knowing the fact that we know that, how the communication should happen, I think that kind of like have guidance around that specific issue. When it comes to communication, it is extremely important to develop a good emergency management of any kind. Just leaving up to the lead one and lead two, or the head of the department, without having proper guidance, I think it's kind of like, I don't know, I think that should be looked out, because the different head of the department need to have specific guidance of what is next when it comes to communication. I mean, I think it's important to have guidance around that.
So with this, again, it's each department head might think of 2 or 3 more that are equally as important to them. The main thing is you have the base plan, the framework. It meets the MEMA requirements by FEMA standards. You could continually build off these as you go. Not all of them will be done when you initially start. It's you put it on the respective department head. We want you to come up with an SOP and how you address with this, how you address this incident. They develop it, create another annex, you put it in there. You continually add to this and build on your plan as you go. So eventually you might have 50 annexes in there, or whatever you choose to do. But that's your opportunity now that you have you're responsible for this, you're responsible for this. You have 3 months, come up with an SOP, come up with the hazard annex, or we can assist you with that as well. But and then you just continually, you hold the department heads accountable, right? And then you develop these plans as you go. In the base plan, we have a LEMAC, Law Enforcement Management Council, in there. In the Law Enforcement Management Council, if you operate the Emergency Operations Center, you could put whoever you want in there. I was speaking with Chief Delaney before, Eversource, NSTAR, all these private partners as well, in a situation like that, would be part of LEMAC inside the control center to work directly with command as they're addressing incidents. So part of the emergency plan is for them to, develop the Law Enforcement Management Council, which consists EMS, public health, whoever you would like to put in there, in addition to the public resource companies, utility companies, and they're part of the process, part of the solution as well. So all that's worked in and stuff to keep building on as you go.
I think I just want to add, as you're well aware, we started from scratch for this. So what you have right now is a comprehensive initial foundational framework. There is still plenty of work to be done to iterate on this, as Sean just stated. So in our survey, we started with 13 different hazards, and depending on who you are, and none of us have a crystal ball, like what could be coming. I mean, there's arguments to be made that one is more important than another. We listened and took feedback from the citywide department heads on what they felt were cumulatively the most important, and that's where we started. But there's more work to be done. There's more. Of course, the gas explosion is top of mind and important and should have its own annex, and that's all things that can be added.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You all set, Council President? Yeah. Councilor LaPlante?
Thank you. We probably should have just asked a little bit more about your background. I tried to Google Golden Thread Consulting. I'm not coming up with anything that kind of matches who you are. Could you just tell us, do you have a web presence, number one, or any presence on
Golden Thread Agency.
Golden Credit?
Golden Thread Agency is the name of my organization.
Well, sir, I could tell you about the team that made up your plan, okay? It consisted of myself, Zach Cross, and
Please do, that's where I'm going with
Okay.
this part. Yeah.
and Michaela Krieger, Texera. So Sean Martin, I'm currently a captain of the Boston Police Department. My current assignment is I'm the commander of the Special Operations Division. I oversee the SWAT team, the bomb squad, hazardous materials unit, commercial vehicles unit, the harbor unit, and the K-9 division. I'm responsible for drafting emergency and security plans for multiple events from small to large-scale protests, large-scale civil unrest, encampment removals, roll-in rallies, victory parades, championship games for the Bruins, Celtics, championship rallies of 1 million people or more that come through for the Patriots, Celtics, Bruins. I am, do you have a question? I'm sorry.
I'm multitasking.
Oh, sorry, sir.
I'm listening still. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, I was the operations section chief for the International Association of Chiefs of Police Conference. It's the largest police conference in the country. They came to Boston a year and a half ago. It's approximately 40,000 law enforcement professionals from around the country and the world. I was responsible for drafting the security, staffing, plan for it, for the training, everything associated with the plan. I'm currently the tactical operations co-chair for FIFA Boston that's coming up. That's coming up in 2026. I was the UASI chairperson for the Safety and Security region for all SWAT teams in the region. Training Education Committee chairperson for UASI years ago. I'm well-versed in drafting plans, implementing them, executing them, finding money to fill gaps, do grants, spending the grants appropriately through, with proper AELs and through federal guidelines. So comprehensive experience that spans 27 years of law enforcement and military. Zachary Crossan is a sergeant in Boston Police Department, also a hazardous material technician. Additionally, he's a major in the Army National Guard. Between us, we have 55 years of law enforcement military experience. Zach also has an emergency management degree. Michaela Krieger, Texera, hyphenated name, Texera. She just finished up her work as an emergency management planner for the city of Boston. She worked for the Office of Emergency Management. She's drafted over 40 emergency plans for the city of Boston. She trains outside agencies and workshops on how to draft emergency management plans. She has a master's degree in emergency management. She has certifications to the Emergency Management Institute relating to emergency management, conducts tabletops, exercises pertaining to everything related to emergency management. So we have great representation of both. Our knowledge, skills, experience are just not academic. They're actually, we wear the uniform. We responded to the largest events you could think of, probably the most in New England, for everything we deal with in town. We know what works, we know what doesn't work. We can relate to the men and women in uniform around here, and we also have the academic expertise to make sure that we are checking all the FEMA requirements, MEMA requirements, and that, even more importantly, once these plans are in place and your department heads have distributed them, have trained to them, modified them, trained to them, implemented them, once they conduct exercises, now that they have the plan to conduct exercises, they could identify any gaps that they have. They could utilize those gaps based on the plan and the training to request grant money to, supplement and fill in your gaps, whether it's, you're short generators, you need equipment, you need a fire truck. These are the plans you use as the foundation to build off of with further exercises and training to identify the gaps as justification to move forward. So these are all very important steps, and I think it's very important that the administration took the initiative to get your first emergency management plan in place. Many cities, most cities and towns have emergency management plans. The great thing about this emergency management plan, my perspective, is that if you read some of these towns and cities, they might be 200 pages long. No one wants to, you don't want to read through 7 other departments through 150 pages of stuff. You want to go to your respective thing. So we have a 38-page document, very user-friendly. Once you approve it, Carlos could activate the hyperlinks within the document in the OneDrive. You could just go right to the police department, click on it. It goes right to the department annex. It goes through all the stuff that's required for the police department. You want to click on the hazard annex, you click on it, it shows who's responsible for what, who's the assist. And it's an easy to read, very useful document. Again, instead of putting 16 emergency support functions, we consolidated to 8 community lifelines. okay? And the basis of the community lifelines is that it allows continuous operation of critical government and business services related to health and safety and economic recovery, economic continuity. So during emergencies, they focus on the 8 lifelines that allow basically people to get their medical services, keep the water running, public services, everything you need while you're mitigating and recovering from an emergency. So again, it's very user-friendly. It branches off in the department, hazard indexes, and just like you said, sir, you continue the gas explosion. Emergency management director, we want you to come up with another hazard index for this, and you may have a different one. You just pick them, you assign them to whatever the respective department head. You add it into the plan. You just add a line. It's your document. You just keep building it. So 2-3 years from now, you might have 20, 30 indexes, but you'll have a response. And this is how you start. And you have a response for everything that comes up. And you just keep improving it as you move forward.
Councilor LaPlante.
So just 2 more questions. So you've answered a lot. And by the way, thank you for that. And Sean, what's your last name?
Martin, Martin.
Both your last names are Martin?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Mr. Martin, what is this open to the public? Is this the management plan, is that going to be a public document at some point? Is that going to be an internal document?
Yes, at some point it must be. We will leave it up to like I said before, there must be a training. There's no plan without training, there's no execution. So we need to work with all of you from the 9 districts. We are going to work with volunteer groups and also with staff. So staff is different. Then we will have the community to know how they will work, but it will become public at some point. Now it's a draft, final draft, and we need to, look at it and then.
Councilor Pop.
Yeah.
So this is the budget committee, so I need to ask the budget question. So how much did this cost? I know that we're transferring $100,000 to professional services.
Yes.
What's the cost for the product that we're about to receive?
Well, that goes by negotiation with the final portion. Okay, it depends on what we have available, and it's something that could be now, it could be something in the future, but I don't want to put a number on the consultants. But I was thinking, because we did our research, we looked at more or less how much it was cost. We looked at how much we could have done it in-house if we had the time, but that was not feasible. I'm looking at anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 in additional, but that's something that we need to look at the budget. We have other priorities that we need to look at. If this is within the priority that we need to do, maybe this current budget or the next current budget, that's something that we can discuss. But for now, I think we have the draft, and then the remaining will come before you.
Yeah, I just want to keep these responses quick because there's other folks who want to speak. So,
Yeah.
So we don't know how much is the answer to that question and how much this is going to cost us. $100,000 is going toward
As it is right now.
As it is.
Final draft, yes.
The final draft.
The final
And so
draft.
we're going to be building on this. This is not a one time and done. So as Mr. Martin was suggesting, is that this is what we're going to be doing here is there's modules they're going to be continuing to be adding on. And so who's doing this add-on? Is that going to be this firm going to be doing the add-on, or is it going to be we're doing it
I
independently?
think we would be consistent with one firm that knows it. It makes common sense. They already have built a relationship with the department head, the department heads, and this is a framework. So in the way I see it, if I would have to make a recommendation, and there's no easy answer, so I don't like to give half answers and then keep you in the air. So if we go and we say, well, for this budget year, we don't have money. Let's see what is in the next budget year we propose, and we have yet to come with the position in itself that you as a body needs to decide. You have to go by ordinance, modify ordinance, or probably not only ordinance through personnel committee. for the job description of the new position.
So, right, so that's going to be a different question. I'm going
Right.
to hold that in abeyance. My last question, I'm very curious about the discussions. Thank you, Mr. Spanner. I'm really curious about the discussions with the department heads. You talked to a bunch of them, you mentioned, and then you boiled it down to, I think you said 5 different indexes. Indexes is the right word?
Hazard annex.
Hazard indexes.
Department head.
Got it. And I think
Annex,
you
sir.
I don't remember all. There was fire. There was a mass shooting. And there was right. Right. I'm just curious, just because it's in front of our faces like this. Minnesota, Portland, Oregon, civil unrest. I mean, it's like right here in our faces. That we can't put on the radio or television without seeing something going on. So, was that even mentioned at all in any of your discussions?
I believe it was one of the 13, if I'm not mistaken, but it wasn't the 5 prioritized. Again, not hard to do. Either they could do that internally. If you wanted us, we could add a civil unrest, civil disturbance annex as well. There's things you could add as you move on. You're never going to start a document. It would take many, many months if you wanted to start with all of them initially. But this is what you have, like I said, satisfies every requirement, state, federally. It puts the department heads on notice, if you will, to start training up. You're responsible for this, develop your SOPs. If they don't have them already, then they will have to start developing them. They could do that internally. Again, we can assist with that as well, but this is all for you to build off of and keep professionalizing things and making
Great.
more efficient, effective, and a safer community.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
I have a question, comments for the administration. I think your background is great. Thank you for the work that you've done. However, as I'm researching the agency, the first thing, and I'm bringing this up because we're about to make a recommendation to transfer $100,000 to pay for the work that you guys have done. I want to know about the RFP process, how this agency was determined, because just going off of what I see online, I see nothing about municipal planning, municipal anything. So I Googled Golden Thread. The first thing I see, the website comes up. Their meta description is New England-based boutique PR marketing agency that specializes in brand building, media relationships, thought leadership, and communications strategy. You click on the website, it's very, again, marketing and public relations heavy. You go on their LinkedIn profile, and it's, again, their specialties, marketing, public relations, social media, influencer marketing, media relations, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing against you, but I'm, from the city's
I'll give you the-
perspective, how
I'll
did
give
we
you-
get to this
yes,
point? How did we choose this agency?
Yeah, we did an RFP, and as for them to serve as a project management. And I think you were quite familiar during the budget year last year that we were behind with project management. And as part of the project management, this was one of our projects that we added to the scope of service, and which was managed through
And
our
obviously,
procurement.
they did you guys got somewhat, your team is very well versed and they have their expertise on this. So I'm not questioning, like, you did what you guys had to do. But obviously, from an outsider looking in, when you're researching it, I'm not seeing anything municipal, so I think that's a fair question to ask.
Yes, of course, of course. We sat down and we looked at it, and we had conversations. We went back and forth many times. And then we requested, without them knowing when the work was going to start, because they started with project management before at planning, the Office of Planning and Community Development. That's negotiation with when we work with consultants. For us to get the best money for us, and also answering Councilors LaPlante's, I won't miss that, I always respect it, question, is we wanted to keep it within the budget and get quality work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that still doesn't answer my question as to how this
No, we did an
agency
RFP
was-
process. We did an RFP process that was submitted, and their company was selected by a selection committee. That can be provided to you. I mean, those are question every,
How many people submitted?
I think there's 3, don't remember at this time, but I can provide it to you. There were a lot. There were several companies. We didn't acknowledge those that were out of state because we know that they're not here. But we did have several responses. I can ask our purchasing agent to submit that information as part of the package through a memo,
That would be
and
great.
then to look at the score.
Thank you. Yeah, because, thank you.
Yeah, we had a lot. I mean, more than 7 for me is a lot.
Because luckily, I mean, fortunately, Golden Threads as an agency, again, you have the connections or the access to personnel that have the experience and know, but if this were for any other thing, how are we're about to pay a significant amount of money, and, you know, I just don't want this to be I guess, the baseline for the future, because even though people may put in the RFP and they may say wonderful things, when it comes down to it, they might not have the resources or the connection, whatever it may be, to actually get the work done that the municipality needs. So just off the bat, what I'm seeing is how not connecting emergency management planning with the agency from what I see on their online presence.
We didn't know that either until we had the conversation as
Okay,
well.
great. But you guys did an excellent job, so.
I'm happy to speak to it just a little bit,
Yeah.
just to share, to say, the way that my company is set up is a collaborative, which allows me, one, to not have a lot of overhead and employees and things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
That would have pass-through costs to my clients and partners. So what I do personally, like when I approach any situation where there's an opportunity or a connection, we talk collaboratively and say, what's the best solution? And I bring those people to the table. So my background personally, as you've seen, is decades of experience in marketing, communications, project management, public relations, all of that. But I also kind of wear a hat in a sense as a business owner, as kind of like a general contractor, where I look at every project and say, what do you need? What serves you best? Who's available?
Right,
Time
right, right.
frame, budget, all
Right.
of those things, and I bring those experts to the table. And also, not every brand or client or municipality that I work with wants to necessarily be publicized and splashed onto website and all of that. So some things are up there, but by no means is my website for the agency completely comprehensive of
Everything
service that we
yeah.
offer.
And it's good to clarify, because we do have constituents that watch our meetings, and some will research, you know, the agency, and then we get the questions like, how do they qualify? What are their capabilities? So this is why, another reason why I'm asking, to make sure this is on the record, that you guys did your due diligence and that we are on the right track, and this is a, you know, credible work by you, your agency, and, you know, you and your expertise, so, yeah. And obviously the administration. All right, at this point, I will, if there's no further questions or concerns, you have a question?
Yeah, I was waiting for
Okay.
everybody.
Oh, sorry,
I'll be brief.
Councilor Marmol.
I should stop waiting last to make comments. So just to make sure I have clarity, this plan was designed uniquely for the city of Lawrence, correct? Based on the needs of Lawrence from the survey that you guys conducted. I feel like the city's needs may change over time. So does administration, and so does department heads. So does that mean that eventually this plan needs to be reevaluated and updated at some point? And if that's the case, is there a fee for that? I'm just curious.
So in the plan, there's a maintenance, maintenance section in there. The plans to be reviewed every year, and I believe every 3 years is to be, you know, not redone, but make sure any additions that need to be made, the emergency management director, the mayor's office will direct them to be made. So the only people who should be allowed to make any changes to the plan should be the emergency management director, with input from everyone else, or through the mayor's office, of course.
Okay, so that brings me to the second question, and I don't know if it should be directed to you or if it's to you, senior advisor. From the little chance that I got to read the overview, and I didn't even know if we've established this yet, I am looking at the LEMAC Advisory Council, and I'm able to see the different departments that would be participants of this council. Have we made the determination as to who those people are? And then I'm seeing that the EMD is appointed by the mayor and serves as chair. So is that something that has been decided as of yet, or no?
It hasn't, but
Because this
You
plan
wanna say
doesn't,
something before we
like, this plan doesn't really, and correct me if I'm wrong.
There's a recommendation and there's an answer.
Does this plan specify how does the mayor go about in appointing someone? Or is that something that the city or the mayor has to,
I think it's by charter, right? I think it's by.
it's a charter? It's an ordinance? Oh, okay, all right. But we're not there yet in terms of,
This is fun.
all right.
So to answer the first part of your question, the Law Enforcement Management Council, the Emergency Management Director of the Mayor's Office would designate who's in there. Typically, it would be, you would activate the Emergency Operations Center in the LEMAC, but depending on the type of emergency, you wouldn't automatically put, 12 people in there if it was, related to a small-scale fire or something. You would need, Red Cross and everyone else in there to deal with housing. So you would have people identified, fire chief, police chief with the liaisons, public works, public health, list goes on, EMS, the Eversource, NSTAR, all the private companies that you would need access to on an immediate basis to get real-time answers when an emergency is developing. Those are the people you would put in there, but you would specify who needs to come for certain, for respective emergencies.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring the chief just in the answer. Chief, come forward
Can you, I'm gonna
to make it brief.
kind of make it brief. If there's any other further questions pertaining to the funding part of it, the budget part of it.
Well, no,
Because
the fee, so I wanted to
everything
know, which they already answered. So the maintenance, the reevaluation, you said it was every year, this needs to be reviewed and updated, and there's no fee attached to, because you said it's under the clause of maintenance, right?
No, so.
Well,
it's-
never mind.
No, I'm sorry. So no, it's internal. So there wouldn't be any major revamp of the entire process. You may need to change, you might want to add annexes. You may want to add different descriptions to departments. You might just want to add a line or two. I don't see ever a need for you ever to revamp the entire plan. You might just want to add some lines here and there, or depending on if situations change, the departments grow or add different organizations, the amount of annexes you add hazard-wise.
The training is what
Yeah.
But
it's gonna cost.
Well, adding the hazard annexes, because like Council President mentioned, the gas wasn't part of any of these 5. So again, the city's needs could change over time, and the things that, what we're seeing here in Lawrence now, 5 years from now, we're probably experiencing something else, and whatever we're experiencing 5 years from now is not part of this umbrella. So I'm just wondering if that was gonna be part of the maintenance of adding from these hazard annexes.
So the maintenance is a recommendation for maintenance of your plan, like internally. Like you shouldn't just let it sit in the shelf for 5 years without reviewing it.
Okay.
It gives you guidelines on, when you should how often you should conduct training exercises. And a training exercise could actually be, if you have a large scale, an emergency, just the activation of the plan would satisfy, training the plan. If not, nothing happens in the meantime, you should actually conduct some training. Interagency, sole agencies, you should be conducting that as you go, but you could also use a real-time activation to suffice for that part of the requirement. As far as, in 5 years from now, you're still gonna be worried about active shooter, you're still gonna be worried about flooding. In 5 years from now, you might have 40 hazard annexes, and whoever's here is next, at least they have the blueprint to keep it moving. You don't leave with a thumb drive and leave the next person hanging, like, what do I do? This is there for them to keep building on and adding and putting their mark on. So each administration, for years this goes on, the department head should either be requesting it, doing it internally, or requesting externally, and just add. Any concerns you have, your constituents are given to you, bring it up to the administration, and if they, and they'll handle it for you.
I just want to speak to your question, because I feel like you've asked a couple of times, just is there a fee? So to answer that, what we've provided for you was for the cost of what has been requested this evening. There is not an additional maintenance program that's part of this scope. So for our contract, for our services. So we absolutely are working with you now in terms of making recommendations, but it will be up to to you and to the decision makers on if you want to continue to work with us to add things on in the future, who you want to work with, how you want to do it, if you want to handle things internally, externally. That will be the decision.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add the chief,
Is he going to add anything pertaining to the fees or anything funding related?
yeah, funding, yeah, I think.
I think we're all set.
that's a lot,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Great. You know, you had a financial question, Council President. One last question. That's it.
Yes. When it comes to the process to do this type of things, I'm glad that it worked out this time. But I think that the transfer of the funds with the intent of using it for something else should be part of that original discussion before the actual work happened. I'm glad that it worked out this time around, but don't go and hire people without money because you have zero funds at the moment that you hire them. But through an RFP and everything, assuming that the council is going to say yes. We haven't said yet, yes. We haven't said yes yet. But next time around, please do not do this because this is the wrong way of doing it. You're supposed to come over, ask for the transfer first, and go ahead and do the work.
The confusion through you.
Confusion.
Madam Chair.
You've been here for 4 years.
The confusion. I would say the confusion that we had at that point was we were going based on the recommendation that you made, the previous council made in hiring a consultant to do it. And yes, it was brought to our attention, because this work started in July, if I'm not mistaken, in July. And we were still under the impression until it was brought to my attention and I had to bring it. And the mayor was asking me, he said, Octavian, are you sure? And I said, yes, it was part. We said we were gonna do the consulting first and that's it. Do we have the money? Yes. Where's the money come? First of all, we said it was 50-50. Right? 50 from the police department and 50% from the fire department. And that's the honest truth. And then it changed.
Well, even, he's the original counselor of the plan before.
So I believe that there was $100,000 that was remain in the budget. Is that right? We didn't take it out, right? That stayed there?
105,000.
Thank you. Did we cut it by 5? I thought we made a $5,000 cut.
105, no payment.
Whatever. But the point here is that there was $100,000 that's in the budget. Why are we doing an appropriation transfer when we could be using, why don't you just transfer money out of that account?
From the position.
From the position, correct.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing.
That's what we do.
From the position's permanent salaries to professional services.
I stand corrected. Thank you. So I think so. Ultimately, actually, they're not. I was going with you, but I'm thinking that doesn't make any sense. They should be going in, but the money was already there for this. So anyway, it makes sense to me now. Thank you. Now I get the logic.
Thank you.
All right, I
No,
think
what I'm saying is essentially they need to come in front of us before they spend the
yeah.
money.
before they hire an agency to
Yeah.
make sure that, because.
That was the confusion.
Because let me tell you something. Say the worst case scenario of the questions that I asked earlier about the agency, right? And they did all this work, but say it wasn't emergency management planning, and you were to come to us and present this, and we look through the documents and we're like, wait a minute, this is not anything of what we asked for. No, you're not gonna get approved for the money. So then you're in a situation because the agency already did the work, but I think that's what you're trying to say.
Thank you for
Yeah, he got it. He got it.
I would appreciate and request that you move it forward. And thank you.
He just tried to confuse us.
You're lucky that she owns a great agency and she knows what she's doing. All right, counselors, at this point, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
No.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Take your hat off.
Motion to send it to the full council with a fair recommendation.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second, but Madam Chair, there was something with the
Properly seconded.
RFP process. I'm not sure if,
RFP and a scope of work they need to send.
make sure you're notating what you're requesting.
So we are requesting the scope of work and the RFP process to be included as official documents for the full council meeting. Do we have that? All right. Any other comments, clarifications? Nope. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We will see you guys next week.
Motion to adjourn?
No, we have one more.
Oh, I thought.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to table item 24-26, authorization to expend one,
I'm not sure, I need to recuse myself, this one.
Council President needs to recuse himself for this for potential conflict of interest. Authorization to expend $1,649,561 of the Chapter 130 FHWA Railway Highway Crossing Grant from MassDOT, and this is due to the fact that Director McCarthy could not be with us this evening.
Motion to table.
Motion is made. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor LaPlante. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Now can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh. Motion has been made, seconded by Councilor LaPlante. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Thank you so much. That's from the previous meeting.
I'm wondering if it was somebody. Yes, senior advisor.
Did you receive my text?
Text? No.
No?
Text?
Same number?
Got a phone call, but not a text.
I thought I sent a text.
Let me check, yeah, maybe today, or are you referring to like a while back?
Not today. I thought I sent a text.
Maybe, let me, hold on, because if I show you, I have 174 messages. 174.
Nobody's happy.
No, I got like, when I telework.
All right.
Oh yeah, you did text me.
I need to go to Burlington now to go work.
I did get it.
So I was